What happened when you died?
I grew up in South Dakota, a tiny town in 2000, middle of nowhere, pre-internet. I was raised on Standing Rock Indian Reservation and very conservative, very violent family. My ability started at the age of 7. One day I just woke up and I could see colors around people. So it was like halo or the street light, at nighttime you could see, but colors. And then from there, I began feeling people's feelings, knowing what they were thinking, could tell if they were lying, and it eventually moved into seeing disease in people's bodies, seeing spirits, and ultimately dead people. So I'm a kid running around the Midwest, no idea, right? Not a stable or safe environment to be able to ask my family. Just hoping it goes away. It did not go away. It only continued to grow. So I finally broke down and asked a family or somebody close to the family. And they did the hellfire and brimstone bit. Don't ever talk about this. We'll send you to a loony bin. And so being a kid who's 7, who's just trying to fit in, wants to be loved and have stability, that burned into my little brain that something was very wrong with me. And that began the odyssey with toxic shame that eventually led to drug and alcohol abuse, um, tons of promiscuity and cigarette smoking. I went on my own path of destruction after high school, early college, and had my near death experience at that time. Everybody is doing the best that they can with what they have at the time. So I didn't have a safe nuclear family. I didn't have financial support. I didn't have emotional support. And then you add on top of that high sense perception, being bombarded by stimulus 24/7. So not a super fun experience. And then as right after my mom died, which was a cancer death, pretty quick onset death to diagnose, or diagnoses to death was 6 months. And she was my primary abuser, or a primary abuser. And so that ended any hope that I would ever have a mother-daughter connection, any sort of love, any sort of reconciliation. And that was the linchpin for me. And so I spiraled, and again, drugs and alcohol. And I'm very open about these things because I think that it gives people permission to be okay with whatever they got going on. Again, we're living in a really charged, intense time. People are doing the best they can, they're saturated. And so give yourself a break. Everybody's up to something, everybody's coping with something. Some are more destructive, like I was, like of the utmost destructive, very hardcore drugs, smoking 3 packs a day, drinking Everclear straight, like go big or go home kind of girl. And I was just over it. I was not into this reality. I didn't want to be here. I didn't ever feel loved. I hated high sense perception and psychic ability. I wanted nothing to do with it. And so I had an overdose, and I just went into a unity consciousness state. There was a lot of golden fractal mandalas. It was like the most bliss, zen, nurturing experience I had ever felt up to that point. And I was like, oh, thank God. I'm done. I'm done with that life. I'm never going back. Screw that crap. And I heard this female voice, which may have been my higher self, or it could have been a guide. And she was essentially like, yeah, you're not done. And I was like, oh, hell no. I'm good. I'm wrapped. I'm not going back down there. And it's too much. It's too intense. And she was very eloquent. She was like Oracle on Matrix, she's very eloquent. And she's all, we get it's been hard for you. You signed up for this, you chose this. And if you do go back, you're actually going to help a ton of people that are like you with the sensitivities. And when you're in a unity consciousness or a near death experience, you can see everything at the same time. Everything makes sense, right? And you're seeing it from all sides, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is the outcome, and this is why all these things have happened to me because. And so I just had that light bulb moment of like, oh, okay, I'll go back. So obviously I chose to come back. What I didn't realize is that you got to come back, and then there's the boots on ground work that needs to be done to heal